What is up, everybody? We're on day 189 of our Bible in a Year series, continuing in the book of wisdom, that is the book of Proverbs, and learning some wise things. Like I've said before, a couple days going through this already, the book of Proverbs is a lot of general guidance, practically applicable things that you can do that generally will lead to better outcomes. It's not a guarantee if you do this, this will happen. But, you know, generally speaking, if you are wise with money, you will be, or you won't be hurting, or you won't lose a bunch of money on unwise investments and things like that. Not always the case. Something can happen. There could be extenuating circumstances. But generally speaking, if you are wise with money, you won't lose out on that. And that's what a lot of we see in Proverbs. It's general rules or general um, practices, applicable things that could, for most people, lead to a certain outcome, but it's not a guarantee thing. So we're in Proverbs 9 today, and let's jump right back in. New look today. Trying to change some things around. So let me know what you think. If you like the new layout, if you think it's terrible, suggestions, let me know. Okay, Proverbs 10. Solomon's Proverbs: a wise son brings joy to his father, but a foolish son heartache to his mother. Ill-gotten gains do not profit anyone, but righteousness rescues from death. The Lord will not let the righteous go hungry, but he denies the wicked what they crave. Idle hands make one poor, but diligent hands bring riches. The son who gathers during summer is prudent. The son who sleeps during harvest is disgraceful. Blessings are on the head of the righteous, but the mouth of the wicked conceals violence. The remembrance of the righteous is a blessing, but the name of the wicked will rot. A wise heart accepts commands, but foolish lips will be destroyed. The one who lives with integrity lives securely, but whoever perverts his ways will be found out. A sly wink of the eye causes grief, and foolish lips will be destroyed. The mouth of the righteous is a fountain of life, but the mouth of the wicked conceals violence. Hatred stirs up conflicts, but love covers all offenses. Wisdom is found on the lips of the discerning, but a rod is for the back of one who lacks sense. The wise store up knowledge, but the mouth of the fool hastens destruction. The wealth of the rich is his fortified city. The poverty of the poor is their destruction. The reward of the righteous is life. The wages of the wicked is punishment. The one who follows instruction is on the path to life, but the one who rejects correction goes astray. And just realize I need to adjust this a little bit. Wrong thing. There. Verse 18. The one who conceals hatred has lying lips, and whoever spreads slander is a fool. When there are many words, sin is unavoidable, but the one who controls his lips is prudent. Listen to that. When there are many words, sin is unavoidable. So not having control of your tongue will lead to sin. The tongue of the righteous is pure silver. The heart of the wicked is of little value. The lips of the righteous feed many, but the fools die for lack of sense. The Lord's blessing enriches, and he adds no painful effort to it. As shameful conduct is pleasure for a fool, so wisdom is for a person of understanding. What the wicked dreads will come to him, but what the righteous desire will be given to them. When the whirlwind passes, the wicked are no more, but the righteous are secure forever. Like vinegar to the teeth and smoke to the eyes, so the slacker is one who sends him on an errand. The fear of the Lord prolongs life, but the years of the wicked are cut short. The hope of the righteous is joy, but the expectation of the wicked will perish. The way of the Lord is a stronghold for the honorable, but destruction awaits evildoers. The righteous will never be shaken, but the wicked will not remain on the earth. The mouth of the righteous produces wisdom, but the perverse tongue will be cut out. The lips of the righteous know what is appropriate, but the mouth of the wicked only what is perverse. I am still trying to adjust this slightly because well, I've noticed some of these are running off on the right side. So if I pause, that is the reason why. Okay. Proverbs 11. Dishonest scales are detestable to the Lord, but an accurate weight is his delight. When arrogance comes, disgrace follows, but with humility comes wisdom. The integrity of the upright guides them, but the perversity of the treacherous destroys them. Wealth is not profitable on a day of wrath, but righteousness rescues from death. The righteousness of the blameless clears his path, but the wicked person will fall because of his wickedness. The righteous of the upright rescues them, but the treacherous are trapped by their own desires. When the wicked person dies, his expectation comes to nothing, and hope placed in wealth vanishes. The righteous one is rescued from trouble. In his place, the wicked one goes in. With his mouth, the ungodly destroys his neighbor, but through knowledge, the righteous are rescued. When the righteous thrive, a city rejoices. When the wicked die, there is joyful shouting. A city is built up by the blessing of the upright, but it is torn down by the mouth of the wicked. Whoever shows contempt for his neighbor lacks sense, but a person with understanding keeps silent. A gossip goes around revealing a secret, but a trustworthy person keeps a confidence. Without guidance, a people will fail, but with many counselors, there is deliverance. If someone puts up security for a stranger, he will suffer for it, but the one who hates such agreements is protected. A gracious woman gains honor, but violent people gain only riches. A kind man benefits himself, but a cruel person brings ruin on himself. The wicked person earns an empty wage, but the one who sows righteousness a true reward. Genuine righteousness leads to life, but pursuing evil leads to death. Those with twisted minds are detestable to the Lord, but those with blameless conduct are his delight. Be assured what a wicked person that a wicked person will not go unpunished, but the offspring of the righteous will escape. A beautiful woman who rejects good sense is like a gold ring in a pig's snout. The desire of the unrighteous turns out well, but the hope of the wicked leads to wrath. One person gives freely, yet gains more. Another withholds what is right, only to become poor. A generous person will be enriched, and the one who gives a drink of water will receive water. People will curse anyone who hoards grain, but a blessing will come to the one who sells it. The one who searches for what is good seeks favor, but if someone looks for trouble, it will come to him. Anyone trusting in his riches will fall, but the righteous will flourish like foliage. The one who brings ruin on his household will inherit the wind, and the fool will be a slave to someone whose heart is wise. The fruit of the righteous is a tree of life, but a cunning person takes lives. If the righteous will be repaid on earth, how much more the wicked and sinful? In chapter 12. Whoever loves discipline loves knowledge, but one who hates correction is stupid. Um, that's funny. But I mean, it's like, think about it though. It's true. If you if you want to know things, if you want to be knowledgeable, you will embrace discipline, embrace correction, because it shows that you don't want to just be told that you're right, you want to actually like be correct and know like what you want to know if you're doing something wrong, so that way you can not do it anymore, right? At least that's what I think. But yeah, verse 2. One who is good obtains favor from the Lord, but he condemns a person who schemes. No one can be made secure by wickedness, but the root of the righteous is immovable. A wife of noble character is her husband's crown, but a wife who causes shame is like rottenness in his bones. The thoughts of the righteous are just, but guidance from the wicked is deceitful. The words of the wicked are a deadly ambush, but the speech of the upright rescues them. The wicked are overthrown and perish, but the house of the righteous will stand. A man is praised for his insight, but a twisted mind is despised. Better to be disgraced, yet have a servant, than to act important, but have no food. The righteous cares about his animal's health, but even the merciful acts of the wicked are cruel. The one who works his land will have plenty of food, but whoever chases fantasies lacks sense. The wicked desire what evil people have caught, but the root of the righteous is productive. By rebellious speech, an evil person is trapped, but a righteous person escapes from trouble. A person will be satisfied with good by the fruit of his mouth, and the work of a person's hands will reward him. A fool's way is right in his own eyes, but whoever listens to counsel is wise. A fool's displeasure is known at once, but whoever ignores an insult is sensible. Whoever speaks the truth declares what is right, but a false witness speaks deceit. There is one who speaks rashly, like a piercing sword, but the tongue of the wise brings a healing. Truthful lips endure forever, but a lying tongue only a moment. Deceit is in the heart of those who plot evil, but those who promote peace have joy. No disaster overcomes the righteous, but the wicked are full of misery. Lying lips are detestable to the Lord, but faithful people are his delight. A shrewd person conceals knowledge, but a foolish heart publicizes stupidity. The diligent hand will rule, but laziness will lead to forced labor. Anxiety in a person's heart weighs it down, but a good word cheers it up. A righteous person is careful in dealing with his neighbor, but the ways of the wicked lead them astray. A lazy hunter doesn't roast his game, but to a diligent person his wealth is precious. There is life in the path of righteousness, and in its path there is no death. And that is it for our reading for today. Um, do have questions, and we will jump into those right now. Question 1. These chapters repeatedly highlight the power of our words. How can we be more intentional about using our speech to reflect God's character and bring life to others? There's a lot of individuals, I'd say, especially in the um, they are more prominent in the charismatic community. Now, it's not saying that all charismatics are like this. I am charismatic and I'm not like this. I know a lot of charismatics that are not like this, as a matter of fact. But this idea that your words, this is I mean, Bethel has kind of taught this. I think they removed the book from their store. The Physics of Heaven, they kind of talk about like your words have power in the sense that you speak things into existence, which is very New Age. That's not Christian. That is not a Christian idea. That's not taught in the Bible at all. Um, it's very much a New Age thing. And there are people that take some of these passages to mean that. Now, that's not how this is meant. That's not what you can take from this. I do think, again, Proverbs is a very practical book of practical wisdom. So, um, if you are at your job and you're constantly being negative, bad things are coming out your mouth, or vulgarity is coming out your mouth, and you're offending people, things like that. That is your speech that can directly lead to you losing your job, which can affect you lose your job, that does affect your life. affects your livelihood, your ability to provide for yourself and your family. So I think that's one way that you can see this kind of played out practically. Um, Now, if you take the opposite of that and your speech is reflecting God's character, how is that going to be a different situation? Well, you're going to be, I think, generally more positive towards people. You're not going to lie. You're not going to say things that are untrue. But even when you do say things that are true that people maybe don't like, you will do so with kindness, with gentleness. And so it's really just a better overall um, output, I guess you could say, on if you're focusing on your speech reflecting God's character. And that is what I think a lot of what is getting out here in the power of words. Question 2. Proverbs contrast the lasting security of righteousness with the fleeting success of wickedness. How does this challenge our view of success and influence, what we pursue in life? We've talked about this a little bit. This came up in Psalms. This came up some before Psalms too, I believe. But this idea that righteousness, um, righteousness is something that lasts. Wickedness does not. Now, wickedness may appear to be like the final thing, or it may even last a lifetime. Someone may do something wicked and have ill-gotten gains, and they hold on to those for this lifetime. But that's it, and that's where the Christian worldview comes into play with this, because we have to remember there is more than just this lifetime. This lifetime is, I mean, it's a spark, and it's done. A burst of a flame, and then it's out. And especially when compared to eternity, this is nothing. So even if there are ill-gotten gains and they have it for the entirety of this life, and they amass mass amounts of wealth and things, money, pleasures, whatever, that is temporary and it's gone, and that is nothing when compared to eternity. So I think when you're thinking of this, you have to think of it in a Christian worldview. Think of it in the scope of our finite existence here versus eternity. That's how you need to look at this. Proverbs 12:1 says, "Whoever loves discipline loves knowledge." This is I talked about this. What does it look like to embrace correction in a way that leads to growth and wisdom rather than shame or defensiveness? Humility is a big, big key for this. Being humble, having humility, understanding that when someone's bringing correction, they may be right. Knowing that you do things wrong sometimes, knowing that you're not perfect, makes it way, way, way easier to take correction, to understand what people are saying, and to try to actually apply that to your own life in a way that makes you a better person, and not instantly get defensive when people bring up. This is something, so I currently have a secular job I'm working, and this is something that I feel I do well. I actually just had a review at the time of recording this yesterday with my manager, and that was something that he brought up, is that I don't, when things are brought up to critique or correct. Recently, I've started doing a lot of new stuff, and there's been things I've done wrong, not knowing how to do it, things like that, or misunderstandings on my part. And something that he brought up that I didn't, I felt like it was true about myself. I already felt it, and I took it as a compliment that my manager saw that as well. But the fact that he called out, he feels that I do well with that. He feels that I do well with taking correction, hearing that, and not being defensive, but being open to kind of filter that. So, yeah. Tomorrow's going to be good, guys. We're getting back into Proverbs, and you're not going to want to miss it. Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, as all those things help the channel grow. If this has been a blessing to you, you can share it with somebody else. It can be a blessing to them, and word of mouth is the best way that podcasts grow as well. So that can be something that helps this channel as well. Come back every single day. We're going to have more content every single day. Bible reading plan. We're going through the Bible an entire year, different teachings, all kinds of just really great biblical sound stuff like that. So you're not going to want to miss it. Come back, subscribe. Thanks. God bless.